Yes, here we go, Miss Lan.
Can you see my PowerPoint slide?
Yes, very clearly.
All right, so good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are very happy to see everyone here today for our Fulbright Tea Alumni Conference. My name is Lan, and it is my great honor to be the moderator of this section today. So in this room, there will be 4 presentations, and there will be time at the end of each presentation for questions and answers. And you are welcome to ask questions throughout the presentation. But please be kindly reminded to stay on mute during the presentation. So thank you for that in advance. To get the certificate for your participation, please stay at the end of the section to complete our survey. And now our Tea alumni presenters are very eager to share their knowledge to their fellow teachers. So I would like to introduce the first presenter today, Ms. Trần Thị Nguyên. So Ms. Nguyen earned a Bachelor of Science in the Pedagogy of Biology at University of Huế, Vietnam, and she has more than 10 years of experience in the field of education. While working as a teacher of biology at Phù Động Secondary School, she has increased many students' awareness of climate change and helped them learn how to protect the environment by simple actions. In addition, Nguyen has participated in the Microsoft Education community. The Microsoft Innovative Education programs have paved the way for her employing technology in education, which really helps students achieve better academic performance. Nguyen is much interested in issues of environment and STEM education, as well as has a strong passion for youth empowerment. Her primary objective for participating in Fulbright Tea is to explore new methodology for engaging students in a more engaging and active classroom setting. So today, Ms. Nguyen is going to share with us about the topic, using STEM or STEAM approaches in teaching biology. So over to you, please, Nguyen.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Lan, and hello everyone. My full name is Trần Thị Nguyên. I have been part of Fulbright Tea in 2019 at Maslow in Massachusetts, and currently I have been teaching biology in middle school, and today I'm very happy and very grateful and thankful to Relo as well as Tea Alumni for giving me a great opportunity to share my practicing in STEM and STEAM. My topic is using STEM and STEAM approaches in teaching biology. Do you see my screen?
Yes, Miss Nguyen, can you please show it? Yeah, got it now.
Well, you know, John Dewey is the father of modern education. He often takes credit for coining the phrase learning by doing. And, you know, there are lots of research that support this model enhance and engages students. In fact, STEM is based on belief that students can learn by doing. And next, we will know what is STEM and STEAM definition. The first STEM is acronym for science, technology, engineering, and math. And STEAM is an educational approach to learning that use science, technology, engineering, and the arts, and mathematics as a set point for guiding student inquiry, dialogue, and critical thinking. So if we compare between STEM and STEAM, we can recognize that STEM students in STEM programs may have more experiential learning opportunities. However, they are limited to only to only science, technology, engineering, and math, while STEAM allows students to connect their learning in these critical areas together with arts practice, elements, and design principles. So both STEM and STEAM embrace the forces identified as the key in 21st century education, including communication, critical thinking, creativity, and collaboration. And well, today I'm very happy to share with you guys my practice model that I have used. The first model is a STEM project for educational STEM-based approach to enhance the awareness and action plans of environmental protection in Vietnam. And in this project, I also use 5 steps of design thinking, and these are 5 steps, including empathy, define, ideate, prototype, and test. And there are include 3 main steps. That is a big step like inspiration, evaluation, and implementation. And in my presentation, I will elaborate is that in the first step, empathize, we can help students develop a deep understanding of challenge. And the next step, define, we can clear article the problem that we want to solve. And in the next step, ideate, I and my students brainstorm potential of solution and select and develop our solution. And in the next step, prototype, we design a prototype to test all part of solution. And the final step is engage in a continuous cycle innovative process to continue improve design. So we can try and try and try to get the best practice. So in the first step, I introduce the problem with my students. So according to the Ocean Conservancy, Vietnam is in the top 5 countries contributing more than half of ocean plastic. So it can be said that the primary reason for this problem are people negative habits in using plastic bags and the lack of knowledge in sorting trash, because in Vietnam, citizens have not been taught in sorting garbage. So I raised the question for my students how to enhance student knowledge about plastic items. So we collaborate and identify the objectives. The first is survey awareness of my students in the whole secondary school about sorting garbage in their houses. And the second object is suggest some promising solution to deal with plastic trash in my community by implementing STEAM education in biology subject. And the methods is using survey criteria for over 300 students. We also use semi-structured interview and collect data, analyze why concern about class. And the study was conducted in private in September to October in 2018. And that is the result of frequency of students do about sorting garbage. I recognize that STEM education on design thinking procedure is a promising solution to keep the real-life issues beyond traditional education, because my students not only learn in their classroom, they also open and expand their project into community. They do something like interview the seller in the market to know about how to people use plastic in daily life, and they also create extra curricular activity in school as well as public space like park or in the beach. And there is some extracurricular activity that I and my students did in the last years. For example, the Montana event to call people attention to reduce charge in their home, or this event in my school to teach students how to separate class in house and in school. And they also brought something like a cloth bag to have a slogan for community. That is also an event for my students. They are very eager to do something because there are lots of activity in each event that they is like hands-on activities. So people like it and students very eager to participate in this project. And next, the second model I want to introduce with you is Brave Girl. Well, you know, in a lifetime, a human disposes around more than 11 tons of parts, which is a major concern because these parts are non-recyclable and non-biodegradable. So therefore, in this workshop, we encourage students, especially female students, reduce disposable napkin, disposable sanitary napkin by making cloth sanitary pads. So more detail you can see in this video. Well, in this workshop, we also have students learn how to create like real Lego decks. They can make Lego decks for different kinds of shapes. There is no limit to creativity. So that is second model, and the next model is incorporate STEM and STEAM in my subject is biology. And you know, I'm a biology teacher, so every year I usually guide my students to do some small project in their classroom. And the reason is my school is public school and is located in central Vietnam. And every year is my school always encountered with extremely climate like flat flood or high temperature or hurricane. So that's why I think that educating students about responding skill with climate change and protect the environment are very important to everyone and my students. And the best solution is to enhance student knowledge about climate change and protecting the environment is integrating the knowledge into some related subject like biology or geography. And that is my poster. That is poster that my student did. They draw it and presented it in the class. The answer is poster by some tool like Canva or in PowerPoint is so that in this project they also learn about how to use IT to how to improve their IT skill. And another example is I teach ecological footprint. Maybe you know the carbon footprint is the total amount of greenhouse gases, including carbon dioxide and methane, that are generated by our actions. And in this topic, students learn about eco footprint definition. Students calculate the value of eco footprint so they can compare with their friends. They also compare the average eco footprint for a person in different countries. In this image, you can see Ecuador generate more carbon footprint than Vietnam, and the smallest is Bhutan, the country in the Asia, and comparing between developed countries and developing country, students can know that developed country release more carbon footprint than other countries because the industrial is very developing in developed countries. And to summer, students know that in order to make the earth enough for everyone, each person should use about 1.8 hectare of land in water area. And students also recognize that to have the best chance to avoiding global temperatures, the average carbon footprint per year should be dropped. So that is my example, how to teach biology and use them as theme in my project. And another example, that's it. Last year when the coronavirus came in Vietnam, and the pandemic is was happened over the world. I and my students stay at home. However, I still have a mission for them to learn about the coronavirus. My subject I divide my students into 4 groups. The first group, they learn about the coronavirus literature, and the second group, they find information about fake news and true news. Because at the beginning when the pandemic happened, there are many fake news appear in social media. So people and my students don't know what is wrong, what is right. So the mission of the second group is identify what is fake news and what is true news for them. And the group 3, they will find some common symptoms of infected people. And the group 4 is the media group. They will identify the problem and make the media that is like a media team to help people to enhance people and their friends about the pandemic. And in this project, I collaborate with my student by online platform like Google Doc or PowerPoint presentation online and playing Kahoot. And I have used project-based learning to work with my students. And you can see that is the poster that my student did. She created the poster with the information about the coronavirus, and she also present about the topic. So I know that in the COVID-19 is reviving the need to explore online teaching and learning opportunities. So that is, in conclusion, I know that STEM and STEAM can use by combined with project-based learning, and those of them are the future of education, and that's why we should care about that. And in my opinion, I really prefer to use project-based learning combined with STEM and STEAM in my daily teaching. So that is my presentation. Thanks for listening and watching. And if you have any questions, please contact me via email. My email I give in the screen. Thank you very much.
All right. So thank you very much, Ms. Nguyen, for your impressive presentation. So our fellow teachers, please feel free to unmute yourself. If you have any questions, or you can type your question in the chat box, please. All right, so I have one question here in the chat box. So the question is, what is Alumni event? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Ms. Nguyen. Can you tell me a little more about the event?
Yeah, the Alumni event originates from Japan, and in this event we collect second-hand items like clothes or items that they use in the house, in the houses. And in this event, we want to people come here, stay with us, and it's like a market, street market that people can buy what they want to buy, and people can exchange items, so that by this way they can reduce their trash. It's like something like something old for you but new for others. So by exchanging items, we can reduce trash in the in house. And slogan of the event is reduce, and recycle items.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So that is a question for Miss Lan Lei. So Miss Lan Lei, are you happy with the answer? Or do you need some kind of clarification? Miss Lan Lei? Okay, I'm very sorry because of the sound system today. It may be because of the internet connection. Yes.
Yeah, I can see that this is some of the events that you made for the student is so interesting and so relevant to what they are studying. But can you tell me what grade are they in or what level are they in? Yes,
Yeah, I usually teach students in grade 9 and 8. So my students in little groups, they are usually in 8 or 9 class. However, in the public event like Mutana event, everyone can attend in this event. And I usually call some smaller students, they are in 7 or 6, because they will grow up and they will be leader in the future.
Okay, and I can see that for the secondary school, they normally have the projects. And of course, I'm a college teacher and I don't know much about this, but because my daughter is studying on this level, so I'm also interested in the new things about STEAM and STEM. All right, when you're teaching science, technologies, engineering, arts, and mathematics all together, and also in teaching English to integrate all kind of things. That's kind of tough, right? But what is different between the STEAM and STEM and the project based learning? Because I can see that at the end of each lesson, they have a projects for the secondary level students. So what different between those two according to you? I just wonder. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and the difference between STEM and STEAM, and the prominent difference is art is integrated into STEAM. So STEM is focused on inspiring experiment in the class. However, I prefer to use STEAM because it's kind of easier for students, and they can use art. As you can understand the word art in the STEAM is not only draw, but it can understand, like you can decide something, or you can understand the problem, or you can make a presentation, or you can create a poem, or etc. like that. And I also like project-based learning because it's helped me to expand my class, not only in my classroom, but can be on into community, because if I use project-based learning, it's like a small project in my classroom, and students can transfer their knowledge into to solve the real problem.
All right, thank you very much, Miss Lê Thị Ngọc Lan. Are you happy with the answers?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Presenter
Thank you.
and moderators. Yeah.
Yes. So we have another question from Ánh Nguyễn. What sources or materials we can employ to use STEM approach in teaching? Ms. Nguyen, please.
Resources. Well, honestly, is the topic is appear in my mind, and I usually think about hot topic. For example, in last year and this year, the coronavirus as well as pandemic is the hot topic. So that's why I focus on the topic and the information we can use in the internet and some website. And if you want, I can send you the link of the website that I have used. And many years ago, the environment is my best topic. So that's why I engage my student into the environment topic. So that's why I have said that the topic is come up in my mind, and I like the flexible way to teaching. I not follow something like I mean a little bit follow something like notebook to do my project.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Ánh Nguyễn. And I think we have time for maybe one more questions from Tài Nguyễn. Yes.
Yeah.
So about team means TEM and TEM and team. All right. STEAM, STEM, education and sustainable development. What do you think about this integration? And also want you to share some materials or resources.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk about sustainable development. There are 17 goals of the United Nations about sustainable development, and I really care about that. And I still remember my priority in this goal, number 3 and number 14 is are related to equity, education, and the climate change. And there are to go relevant to equity in education as well as climate change. I usually integrate in my lesson plan. So that's why my projects in my school always relevant into topics. So that's my idea about integration, sustainable development goals in my teaching. So would you please share? As I said, both material and resources about topic that I have did. It's come up in my mind, and if you want to learn more about that, I can send you a link in my YouTube channel. And because I usually upload the video in the YouTube channel, so I can send you my I can send you later. Thank you.
All right, so we may have one more question. So anyone would like to raise your voice, please? So no more questions.
Okay, so Ms. Nguyen, can you type your contact into the chat box so that if other people want to contact you about the resources, they can email you. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. So I would like to say thank you once again, Ms. Nguyen, for your very interesting presentation. And now, yes, you have typed your contact in the chat box yet, Ms. Nguyen? Yes, okay. So we may have further discussion with Ms. Nguyen by emailing her, yes. And her email is in the chat box now, yes. All right, so On behalf of the organizing committee, I'd like to present to you, Ms. Nguyen, the certificate of appreciation for your contribution. And once again, thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the participants.
Thank you everyone.
Okay, so we have some more minutes. So everybody, if you can open your video and give Ms. Nguyen big hand, please. Everybody. Yes.
Some Photoshop.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
So you have some minutes now for relax, and then we move to the second presenter.
Okay, Ms. Lan, so I think we can continue with the second presenter.
Yes.
Very nice.
All
Ms.
right.
Lan.
So, yes. Now let's welcome the second presenter today, Ms. Đào Thị Hồng Quyên. So Ms. Quyên graduated from Hanoi University of Education. She has taught biology for 9 years. She's passionate, energetic, and friendly teacher. During her career, she has made a significant contribution to STEM education and education in general over the years. With a passion for STEM education, especially closing the gap between STEM education in rural and urban areas. She was the founder of the project STEM for Rural Area. These projects aim to build a STEM ecosystem in Nam Định province and got a micro grant from Young Southeast Asian Leaders Initiative, Hanoi 2018. She got the first prize of SL, Service Learning, STEM of SL, competition held by Vietnam National University of Science. During the outbreak of the epidemic, she got a grant from National Geographic for emergency remote learning with the topic of COVID-19. She received the Honeywell Educator, a Space Academy Scholarship 2017 and Fulbright 2020. So in this section, Ms. Quyên will share with us about improving biology's vocabulary for ESL high school students in rural areas. So Ms. Quyên, welcome you, please.
Thank you, Ms. Phương Lan. Good morning, everybody. And good morning, everybody. My name is Quyên, and I am a biology teacher in Nam Định province. I'm gonna talk about how to improving biology vocabulary for ESL high school student in rural area. So I have been teaching biology for 9 years, and I have 1 year in an international school and 4 years in a public high school and 4 years in gifted high school. So besides biology, I teach technology, and I love in STEM education. In this topic, I will have present about improve biology terms for high school students. So in my province, STEM teachers are encouraged to teach STEM subjects in English in grade 8 or 10 or 11. STEM teachers are not obligated to use English in class. We decide how we teach, and enhancing English in science class is a challenge for both teachers and students. Firstly, students in rural school have an English level mostly is elementary and pre-intermediate. Yeah. With a minimum of science vocabulary, most students in public school in rural haven't got enough English skill adequate to learn science in English, especially in biology. There is no bilingual books for both students or teachers. And about the teachers, the science teachers' English skills mostly is, I think, about my college around me is about A2, A3, and the number of teachers have a B2 or B1 is very small. So reading science in English is an object for both teachers and students. And if teachers choose to enhance English in class, teachers have to use more time to prepare for the lesson. However, we do not have to pay extra money. It's so hard to start to choose enhanced English in science class, but I think if teachers do not try the best, they will not be able to be a role model for students. So I chose a difficult task for self-studying English and try to convey the spirit to my students. So with 40 minutes per week for a biology class, I have to provide and guide students to learn new knowledge, and I set objectives for myself is increasing number of science and biology vocabulary, in reading comprehension, basic biology content. And for students in grade 10, my target is 100 and 200 biology terms, and grade 11 is 150 to 300. Yeah. And so I try many teaching strategies, and it is the best. Chassis and reach my objective. You see, it's very simple, but after about 5 years, I try and I think it is the best. Firstly, before the lesson, students have to find 5 keywords. Yeah, only 5 keywords. I know if I one day 5 more, they can be so upset. And during the lesson will be divided into 2 or 3 sections, and I will teach in Vietnamese first, and after that is English. The number of biology terms increase gradually. The total key term is about 5 to 10 terms per lesson, and after lesson, the student will play game on Quizlet. Yeah, I know in my subject I do not have more time. Yeah, we in the public high school we have to follow the curriculum and the timeline of normal curriculum. Yeah, so I find out 3 tips. Second, both students biology terms. Firstly, I really love in Quizlet. You know that it's hard to learn new knowledge and learn new biology terms, it's hard for both me and my student. So choosing an online platform which could help teacher and student to self-study is my first choice. And I create about 30 biology steps. Also, you can see in the screen for grade 10 and 11. Yeah, my students are so fascinated using Quizlet. They can study in classroom or at home or anywhere if they have a device. And at the same time, it can help me to reduce the pressure on teaching. And the tip truth is using biological prefixes and suffixes. So you know that some science terms can be difficult to comprehend. By identifying the affixes, my student can understand even the most complex terms, and I see them remember longer than learn by flashcard or traditional way. And each lesson, I provide about 2 or 3 affixes. Yeah. And the tip 3 is I use concept map. After each chapter or each lesson, my student will build a concept map. Firstly, step by step, I will provide a map that linking some terms, as you can see on the screen, and it is easy for students to complete, to fill the gap in passage. And furthermore, the concept map could help students to reinforce the lesson. And when students have enough knowledge and vocabulary, they will have task to build a large map. Yeah. That's my tips, and I think improve students' biology vocabulary is an effective way to help students to learn to reading science text, and it is basic. I think it's a basic block for students if they want to accept the knowledge in STEM in English. And for the teacher, when we teach, I think teacher will develop the English skill, the research skill together with students. And when teaching, when enhancing biology in English in my class, I see a gap in learning biology, not only biology, but other science subject in English between rural and urban area. And I see the gap is widened. I believe that every child should have an equal access to education. Meanwhile, the education gap between rural and urban area is increasingly, especially for rural students, having access to learn science subject in English almost too far away. So I wish there's some we will have a more program to support science teachers in learning English, and it is a solution for sustainable and equitable educational development. Thank you so much for listening to my present. Thank you.
All right, so thank you very much, Ms. Quyên, for your interesting and brief presentation. So now we have much time to discuss with the presenter, please. So you're welcome to raise your voice, or you can type your question and comments in the chat box, please. So anyone would like to say something?
Yes, can I?
Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you very much for amazing presentation. Thank you so much, Miss Gwen. Yes, I learned from you so much. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
English is very important today. So I think that there are many difficult to apply English in teaching STEM, teaching science, because student in Vietnam, many students cannot speak English fluently, and they often focus on practice to get high score in the exam. So how to engage a student to study English or science in English. I think it's the easiest for students at a gifted school, high school or secondary school, but it's not easy for students who study in public school. So could you give me some tips to help me engage my student and get connect to study English, to apply English in STEM lesson? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Queen. It's hard. I think it's very hard. I have maybe two reasons that I can keep. Firstly, because this patch of my province is we have a competition in math and science in English, and math in grade 8 and science is grade 11. So it's basic. It's a base and it's push teacher and student. The second is I know that the number of students want to study biology or choose biology is not a high rate, but I have to change my tactics every school year. Firstly, I try to teach in a class that is choose science and choose group A or A1 as imply enhanced English in biology, and in the second years I test in class which shows English is the main subject, and is I think the something I found so surprised, that is the student in the gifted biology class, they do not like to learn. I do not feel that they are fascinated in biology in English, because they get very high, very heavy content in biology, and they do not want to HR biology terms. But students in class such as English class, normal class, and some class are not gifted. They are more fascinated, and beside teaching, some research, some research and teaching project in school can help them to maybe fascinated in me. And so established a group Facebook and a club that we can provide information about biology, about some questions, but the percentage of learn the biology vocabulary in the group is about 60%, Yeah, and other information can keep them always stay in the group.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. So do you have any more comments or questions, Ms. Quinto? Thank you.
No. Yeah, thank you so
thank
much.
you. Yeah, thank you, Ms. Quinto. Yes. Now, any other question and comment from the audience, please?
Okay, Miss Lan, I can see that Miss Tâm has some questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
Please.
thanks, Ms. Quyên, for your effort in using English in teaching science. I know it's very difficult, especially for biology teachers like you. And because Ms. Quỳnh had questions about how to encourage students to use English in biology class. So I just come up with an idea that I want to share. I think there one way that we can do is to give students a reason to use English, to put them in a situation that they have to use English. So Ms. Quyên, have you ever thought of connecting your class with other classes from other countries? So if your students have to talk with students from other countries, they have to use English, right? You can start from something simple like cultural exchange first. Students have a chance to talk about something familiar to them, they can share about the cultures, and then gradually you can integrate biology lessons into the exchange. So this is my suggestion.
Thank you, Ms. Tâm.
Yes. We have one more question from Minh Quốc. Mr. Yes, I think. Please, Quyên, can you share with us what your opinion is about the translation technique in learning STEM terms? Personally, I don't think it is very effective. I usually use the direct method. Do you use these techniques often? How do you use it, please?
So, firstly, about the opinion in translation, the learning STEM terms. I am a Vietnamese, so I love Vietnamese, and I think the shortest way to kill a language is we do not expand or learn some news or create a new word. I know in some of my college, and I know many teachers use direct English terms. Yeah, but I think to make the STEM education or science education be more wide and more popular, we have to use it in very easy to understand in Vietnamese. Yeah, sometimes if my student come to their home and talking with their parents, their grandparents, as others, they do not understand English. So I think it's a good way. It's best if student and teacher are fluent in both Vietnamese and English. And I got in many cases that if we use only an English term, we cannot explain it full meaning. Yeah, sometimes if we want student to deep understand totally. We have to use Vietnamese to explain. So I think I will still use both Vietnamese and English. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I know. If the student get bored, if we translate too much, yes. If I teach in class of gifted in English, I do not have to translate. Yeah, I do not require to translate. But if I teach in a normal class, normal school, yeah, I teach biology in English in not only one school. I teach about 3 schools. Yeah, and if I teach in English class, they do not. Yeah, I evaluate they can read the science context very easy. But the normal student, we have to translate because they do not understand. If a sentence have over three biology terms, I see they do not understand and they very disappointed and bored, and I have to translate. So, for the student with a low English level, I often use very first is source and single sentences. Yes, so translate terms. Yeah. I think we have to adjust the way we teach, adapt to our types of students. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Minh Quốc Nguyễn. So would you like to raise your voice, or you want me to read another your comments and your sharings and question in the chat box? All right, so Minh Quốc Nguyễn have follow-up comment and question, I think. Yes. Student, sorry. Yes, Ms. Minh Quốc Nguyễn says, yes, you've got a point there. Students just get bored if we translate too much. And I think we just need to translate some complex terms. What do you think?
Yeah, so I think we as I say, we have to know about the yeah, I just answer the questions.
Okay, so Miss Lan,
yeah,
Mr. Kwok says that he was satisfied with Queen's answer already. Yeah.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Yes, so yes, any other questions or comment? I think this one is similar to Minh Quốc Nguyễn question. So student can also get bored if there are too many advanced terms. So I think it depends on the class level that the teacher will decide what is best to them. Yeah, thank you for your sharing from yeah, something.
And I also have one suggestion. If you follow the pre-conference workshop yesterday, you can see that the speakers, Dr. Donita, also suggests us the way that we can level the text and the things that we can have a kind of differentiated instruction for different kinds of students. And also we can use some kind of visual aids to help our students instead of just explaining these words in English or in Vietnamese. Yeah, thank you.
we have much time left. So if you have any other comments or questions, so please. And if you do not have any questions, so you can feel free to relax. And the next presentation will be at 10, at 11. Is that right, Miss Mai?
It depends. If we have no more questions and discussion, we can continue with the next presentation, I think. If everything is clear, yeah. Right.
So we continue with, yeah, we have another question or
yeah, we have comments from Miss or Mr. Hào Nguyễn, yeah, in the chat box, Miss Lan.
Yes. So Miss Hào Nguyễn says, I think you can make real examples and step-by-step guide students to do it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. May I give an examples? Yeah. Yes. Firstly, the first biology topic for student in grade 10 is about the cell. And I know the cells is maybe student will know something about cell before. For example, they can see about the cell batteries, and but they do not know that cell is mean a room. Yeah. When I start to teach about the topic of the cell, I will firstly, I will provide the English follows the textbook in Vietnamese, and I know many students do not read them before class. Yeah, and to class, and I often share the picture of an animation character in you know the Dragon Ball comic. Yeah, in Dragon Ball comic there a very famous character named Cells, and in Vietnamese it is a Sen Bọc Hung. And my students were very surprised when they know that Sen Bọc Hung in English version is a cell, and the Sen is a pronoun in Vietnamese, that's why the pronounce, and follow the way the scientists make the cells character in the comic series. They been remember cells is about the deba in Vietnamese, and the next step I will use the TED and TED video about the cell history. And it's playing for TED is they have a both English version and Vietnamese version. So even English class, I just only share the video with English sub, and they can find some new words, new term, and they can write out, and we can discuss about the term. If I teach in an English class, I do not have to provide too much Vietnamese terms because they can guess the meaning words in Vietnamese. But if I teach in normal class or biology class, we often have to watch the video again in Vietnamese, and we have to match the terms, and after that we can play the game on Quizlet, and we have to discuss the new term, and this is the way we access the topic of the cell. But some topic is very hard. It's not only describe something. It is a topic of the way the cell activities or all the function in the body. Yeah, it's hard to explain in English, and only when we explain in Vietnamese, sometimes they do not understand. Yeah, it's hard for teacher like that. For example, when we teach about the cardiac cycle, or about the respiratory system, is normal in Vietnamese, they are not understand Vietnamese. So I for the topic very difficult like that, I have to explain very carefully, and for both student in English and biology or normal class. Yeah. Yes, but they forget it very. I think after about 2 weeks, they forget the topic very fast. So I have to recall by they play game on Quizlet, and choose some point, and give they some award. Yeah. And I about the number of students, I see although my target is about 100 and to 100 biology term per year, but the normal student only reach about 1020. Yeah, it's normal. And some student which is very good in English can reach about 2000. Sorry, 200. Yeah. It's hard for me or in to explain a term, yeah, carefully, clarify and step to student. But sometimes the student have me. When if they learn about one semester, and the second semester they can when they have enough English level, they can get the context and the meaning easier than I think. I think sometimes I think I have to apply some way to teach, but I change this too much, but it is not totally effective. Yeah. So the chess I present here is the best that in many ways I think. I try to allow students to make the presentation, to make poster, but my students have to use too much time for the task like this, and sometimes they feel tired, and I have to reduce the time student enjoy in my class. So thank you.
All right, thank you. So as Ms. Mai suggested, so we may think of the
okay. So yeah, go ahead, Ms. Lan. Sorry.
Yes. So we learned from the non-detailed workshop yesterday. So you may partner with an English teachers and discuss about leveling text. Yes. All right. So the audience, please. Do you have any other comments or questions?
Yes, I can see in the chat box, Ms. Lan. questions from Mr. Minh Quốc Nguyễn again.
So I will read it.
Yeah.
There's another thing I would love to discuss. Informal assessment, not test. I mean, things like Kahoot, quizzes, or games. We don't have good internet connection, yes. So I haven't had an opportunity to use Kahoot. And I just hold normal crossword puzzle races. I just hold, yeah, things work out quite well. If you rank the top 3, yes, I cannot see it clearly.
Miss Lan, I can help you to read the questions from Mr. Nguyen, okay?
Yeah, I can read it now. Yes.
All right. Yeah, all right. Thank you.
So again, things work quite well. If you rank the top 3 methods of informal assessment, what are they? So the question is, if you rank the top 3 methods of informal assessment, what are they?
So informal. So about my opinion and my experiences, I like puzzle race, crosswords puzzle, because we do not we cannot require internet. We can use in paper, and I think the best is crossword puzzle, and the second game in normal second game that my student love it, but we do not have to use internet connection. Is okay, yeah. Yeah, so thank you. So if you want to discuss more, you can connect me via my email. Yeah.
And there's comment from the presenter, another presenter. As I know, the next presenter will provide you with a wide range of activities that you can use in class without having to have internet connection. Yes. Yes, and Miss Quyên give us her email in the chat box. So you may have further discussion with her later on. Yes. Thank you very much, Ms. Quyên, for your interesting presentation and very, very informative follow-up discussion. Yes, so now I would like to be on behalf of the organizing committee. I'd like to present to you the certificate of appreciation for in the recognition of your contribution. So once again, thank you very much, Quyên. Yes. So every.
It seems that her internet connection is not very good, right? Can you see the PowerPoint that she is sharing? Miss Dong, can you see that, Miss Quyên?
There is some trouble with the internet connection. I can see it.
Yeah, right. So maybe some problem with her. Okay, so Miss Lan. All right, Miss Lan. So I think there's some problem with your internet connection. Is it? Yeah. Now here we go.
Yes, I think so. Yes, so.
So I can share the slide for you, and then you can. Miss Lan, you can stop sharing, and then I can share the slide for you. Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but I think internet connection has some problem. So just wait a moment. Miss Lan, I have you with the screen sharing. Yes, here you are.
Yes, I'm back. Yes. Excuse me. So again, I'd like to say thank you to Đào Thị Hồng Quyên. Yes.
Thank you so much for Relo and the conference to give me an opportunity for sharing with other teachers. Yeah, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Miss Quyên and Miss Lan. Now it's my turn, right? All right, thank you, everyone. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to welcome the third presentation today from Miss Trần Thị Dung. So Ms. Dung has been working as a teacher of biology at Vĩnh Phúc High School for the gifted students since 2008. And she is the Vice President of the School Department of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. She also has trained students to gain a lot of high prizes in national biology contests and the VISEF. And also, Ms. Dung has taught biology in English since 2016 and 2017 school year. And it's a great news that she got a scholarship for the Fulbright 2021. So in the today presentation, she will share with us some very interesting activity that is active teaching and learning activities that can be applied for teaching biology in English. And as far as I know, many of them can be used without internet connection. So maybe it is a kind of suggestions for the questions of Ms. Kwok, right? Yeah. So now over to you, Ms. Dung. You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy today and very honored to be the presenter of this workshop. And thank you so much for Relo Vietnam for Fulbright exchange program and Vietnam led me to have a wonderful opportunity like this. And today I would like to share with you some experience of teaching biology in English for our teachers today. Let me share my screen. I am a teacher of biology and I has been teaching biology in English from the 2016 and 2017 school year. And I realized that my topic today is very related to the topic of Mrs. Nguyen. And now I would like to share some active teaching and learning activities used for teaching biology in English. And you know, when we use another language to teach our subject, we call that the CLIO teaching. So what is CLIO? CLIOs stand for Content and Language Integrated Learning. And the teaching of subjects to students through the use of another language. And the language is different from their mother tongue. So what are the CLIO classroom principles? You can see that the principle of the CLIO classroom are: the first, language is used to learn and communicate. But the difficult for both students and teachers are that the language proficiency level of students are not very good, and also for the teachers, because you know we are teachers of biology, not teacher of English, so we have to try hard. We have to practice more and more to high up the level of using English. And the second principle is that it is a subject matter which determines the language needed for them. And the subject is taught in simple, easily comprehensive ways, using maybe diagrams, illustration, graphs, essential language subject-based vocabulary, text, and discussion. And in some cases, for example, the student with low level proficiency language level, the language one or the mother tongue can be used. Maybe in the case of Mrs. Nguyen, when student has a low level English, we can use Vietnamese to explain the meaning of some complicated words. And here you can see the objectives of CLIO teaching and learning class. And we can see the 4 C's framework. The first one is communication, the content, the culture, and the cognition. The communication, language needs to be learned, and learning content through language transparent and accessible interaction is fundamental. So through the CLIO lessons, students can learn about the culture, about the content, and they can raise their cognition, and they can communicate with other students, and they know much about other culture through the right language that they learned. And we have 4 level of language through the CLIO teaching class. The first one is language of learning. It's a language needed for learners in order to assess concepts and skill related to the topic. Maybe there is a lowest level of language through the CLIO class. And the second range is a language for learning. It's a language needed to operate in foreign language classrooms, work in groups, asking questions, debating. And the highest level is language through learning. It's unplanned emerging language, which appears in classroom due to the high level of talk. And in our class, there are some students who are really good at English. For example, at my school, we have class of English, and the student in this class, they are very good at English. And when I teach biology in this class, maybe they have already known a lot of words of biology, but some specific words they don't know. So that is my duty for them at that class. But in other classes, maybe class for the math students, for the chemistry students, so the level of English of them is not really good. So maybe at that time, I can use the first and the second level of language for them. And here is the main experience that I want to share with you today. That's some active teaching learning activities for CLIO teaching of biology. We have a lot of interactive activities to teach biology, not only biology, but also other subjects in English. And especially when we don't have a good internet connection. The first one is running dictation. Maybe these activities are very familiar with English teachers, but with teachers of other subjects like biology, not many teachers can use them fluently or use them very often. Yes, in running dictation, teachers can design maybe a picture or a text or a graph, and then they can stick them on the wall or outside the classroom, and then they require students to run to the material. There is one, remember what it says, and then run back to the team and recite to poster. And when a student come to the poster or come to the text, when they come back to their group, they have to whisper with other teammates so that the other student in other group cannot hear them. And then they write down all they remember of the text. And when the text is full, they call the teachers to come and check the correct. So from this activity, students can remember the word, and then they can learn the knowledge from the material. And the second, here is an example about the running dictation. We have the definition of photosynthesis in green plants. It is for biology 11. And then students have to remember all the definition, but each student of group have to remember only one sentence or a part of the sentence and come back as fast as possible to their group, and then complete this definition. And the second activity is stop the bus. And here is the picture of stop the bus. As teachers will divide the class into maybe pairs or groups, depend on the numbers of students in the class. And then each group will choose a category and write each category on the board. So we have here 6 categories. And of course, the category related to the lesson that teachers will teach students. And after that, they choose a letter from the alphabet. Maybe that is maybe that is a letter A. So the teams must then write as quickly as possible a word from the category that start with the chosen letter on their piece of paper. And then when they have written a word, they raise your hand and shout out, stop the bus. And then the teacher will check which group is correct and which one is the fastest. So they will get the highest score. And the third activities is vocabulary cards. For example, we have here some vocabulary about the photosynthesis process in green plants. And then you can put them on the vocabulary cards, which one side is the English word and the other side the explanation of that word. And maybe if the English level of student is not good, so on the other side, you can put the meaning in Vietnamese for them. And the fourth activities is 10 questions. And here is a picture of 10 questions. And students will maybe work in pairs to ask and answer about the 10 questions related to the lesson that the teachers will teach. And you, the teacher, can design this question, but on the higher level, students are the ones who have to create these 10 questions by their own. And here we have 10 questions. about, sorry, we have 10 questions about one process of the cell. The first question, it is IMO, so students have to guess. So what is this? It's a person, it's a place, or it's a process. And the first one is I need water. The second one is I need a kind of gas. The third one is I was discovered by Kelvin. So we have hard questions and last question. If the question is very near to the answer, it's very, we call it the hot questions. So the hot question is often at the end of this. And the process here is photosynthesis, because we can see the general equation of that. And the fifth activities is interview. Maybe it's a bit similar to the 10 questions. And maybe teachers, like I said before, teachers can design this question, but with a higher level student will be the people who design this question too. And here we have some study question about photosynthesis and respiration. The first question is that what is the main purpose of photosynthesis? And other question too. When students ask and answer about this question, they have to use their English, their biology English. So they have new words in their head. They have to know the knowledge about this process. So from this activity, they can recheck their range of vocabulary. They can recheck their knowledge about these two processes, photosynthesis and respiration, and other knowledge too. And the next activities is find someone who. For example, here is an example of find someone who in teaching biology in English. Find someone who knows about the cells. Write and answer in the boxes. Know the organelles you will find in an animal cell and a plant cell. So when students have to go through other groups in the class, and then they have to ask other students who know about the organelles, who can list the organelle, essential. And at that time, they can learn vocabulary, and teachers look at the result of students when they give them to teachers, and then teacher can call a student who know much about this knowledge. And then when at that time student can go up and then maybe make a presentation about one of these knowledge. The knowledge is maybe based on the teacher, or maybe what that is the interest, that is the knowledge that all students in the class are interested in. And the final activities is grass skirt. I am really interested in this activity, and I use it very often. I often use them to revise at the end of the lesson. You can see here a grass skirt example. You will design all the questions that you want to ask the student to answer. And you will divide the class into maybe groups or into pairs, depending on the amount of student in class. And then you cut each question so that they are separate from each other, but still link on the top of the paper. And then you stick the grass skirt on the board 4 groups with 4 grass questions, but students cannot see the question here. I will stick against this picture, and then you will call the representative of each group will come to the board and then take one question as fast as possible from 1 to 10 in the order. Not any question later. It come from the first question and to the end, but with each question, for example, the first question, when the representative of each group take it and come to their group, so they have to discuss and maybe look at the textbook, maybe look at the notebook, and they have to discuss to find out the right answer. And when they have the answer, they come back to the teacher and tell the teacher the answer. If the answer is correct, they will have choice to take another question. If the answer is not correct, they have to come back again to their group and rediscuss to find out the correct answer. And then students are very, very interested in this activity because they want them to be the fastest group. They want to answer all the questions here. So I see the atmosphere of the class at that time is very, very enthusiastic, and students can remember the knowledge, can remember the word, and they have to translate all these questions by their own. And when they can translate so that they can remember the new words, they can remember the knowledge. And here is a grass skirt about photosynthesis for biology grade 11. For example, the first question is, what are the 2 main ingredients for photosynthesis in green plants? What are the products of photosynthesis? So yes. And here is some pictures of my class when I use that activity for teaching biology in English. You can see they can work in groups and they are very enthusiastic for these activities. Yes, they are really focused on the questions and discuss in groups to find out the right question and the right answer. And here's me when I teach this lesson, photosynthesis. Yes, and that is my presentation today. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions for me, please feel free to contact me with the email chunzungcvp@gmail.com and my mobile phone number, and you can see in the screen. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Trần Thị Dung, for your very informative presentations with a lot of activities that we teachers can apply not only in the biology classes as you have mentioned, but also in other classes. I myself have used some of them in my English class, and I will try some other that you have mentioned in my English class in the future. Thank you. So now is the time for the Q&A sessions. So participants, please feel free to unmute yourself to raise your voice, or you can chat the questions into the chat box. Thank you very much. Ms. Dung has mentioned the 7 suggested activities. Yeah. So if your audience find anything that you are not very clear, or anything else that you want to suggest to use in the classroom, you can also raise your voice.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yes, Miss Chi, Nguyễn Quỳnh Chi. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for your sharing. There is one thing I'm quite concerned about the the find someone who activities. So for the students who have high level of proficiency, I think they will use English when they interview their friends in order to find someone who like know about that topics. However, for the students who English proficiency is not very good, I think they will tend to like use Vietnamese a lot when they communicate with each other. So I want to ask the presenter if there is any way for us to, you know, like limit it as much as possible. Like, do you assign any students to be the supervisor, or do you have any way to make sure that your students will use English as much as possible during the find someone who activity? So that is my question.
Okay, Ms. Dung, please.
Thank you, Ms. Quincy, for your very interesting question. And I have an agreement with you. And with the student who have lower level of using English, maybe when I design find someone who activities, I have to use the most simple words for them. That is the first step. Very simple, not complicated, like the student who have a higher level of using English. And your recommend is very good. So when I divide students into groups in class, I have to choose the students who are better at English than the others, and they will be the supporter for other students of that group. And if sometimes they have use Vietnamese, I think that is no problem, not very big problem, because you can see the level of using English for the clear teaching. In some cases, the language one or the mother tongue can be used. But the final aim of us is that student can learn both of language and the knowledge. So I think that sometimes Vietnamese can be used. Yes, thank you for your question.
Okay, thank you for your answer.
Yeah. So do you have any more questions, Ms. Chi?
No, that's all for now. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. So, Ms. Dung, I can see another questions from Mr. or maybe Mr. Hoàng Nam, and it is stated that can you talk about stop the bus again, please?
Stop the bus again.
Yes. Maybe he need more explanation about the process of conducting the activity. Thank you.
Yeah, here is a stop the bus activities. The first one, put class into pairs or groups. As I said, depend on the number of students in the class. And each group to choose a category. Maybe we have 6 category here, correspond to the 6 groups of our class. So if your class has only 4 groups, we have only choose 4 categories. And the category related to the lessons of you that day. For example, I teach photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, that means quang hợp. So the category 1 may be name of plants. Name of plants. Okay. And the second one is name of bacteria. They are the living things can occur that process. And the third category is the product. And the fourth category is fruits. Okay, because the products of photosynthesis is used for create fruit plants. Okay, that is 4 category related to the lessons. And then student can choose a letter from the alphabet, okay, to start all the words of that 4 categories. For example, today's student choose the letter, for example, the letter A. So all the words of category 1, 2, 3, or 4 have to be started with the letter A. And they have to remind the words that start with the letter A and related to the category. And maybe they can discuss in group, or maybe they can use a dictionary, no problem. Because the winner is the group who has as much as possible words. And then through this activity, student can remember words, or student can remember from their group, learn from their group, learn from other group. And then teachers will collect all the words of these activities and then show them to the students. So that are the words that students have to write on the notebook and have to study in that lesson. That is my answer. Thank you for your question.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Dung. So, Ms. Nam, Mr. Nam, are you satisfied with her answer, or do you want any? Yeah, he says thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. So I think it's very clear now. Now let's wait the questions, other questions from the other audience, as well as the presenters, other presenters as well. Yeah, so the participants, you can feel free to raise your voice by unmute yourself, or you can type the questions into the chat box. So Ms. Dung, among the 7 activities that you have presented, can you tell us, are there anything that we need to pay attention while we are using these activities? By what I mean is that for some activities, they may be more suitable for the student at any kind of level, and for some activities, maybe the student need a higher level to participate into the activity. So are there anything like that?
Yes, thank you for your question. I think that all these activities are suitable for using biology in English and other subjects too. But when students have a lower proficiency level of using English, you have to design a less complicated teaching material for the student. So at that time, it depends so much on the teacher. Yes, and if I have to choose one of the activities that I am very interested in, so that as I said before, I'm very interested in the activity grass skirt, and I share this with my colleague, and then one of them use it when she attended the teaching competition for teachers in Vĩnh Phúc. And you know, she used it, and the student at that time was very, very active, and they got high prize for that competition. But as I said, all of these activities are quite interactive and very useful for using in teaching not only biology, but also other subjects too.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Dung. So the audience,
Sorry, Mr. Mai. I can see in the participant here, Miss Tô Quỳnh, Tô Thị Như Quỳnh.
yes,
I really admired her, and I hope that we can have an opportunity to meet face to face in the future. So,
yes.
Miss Do you have any questions for me today?
Yeah, thank you so much, Ms. Dung. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. And I have a question for you. What curriculum that a teacher in the schools apply to make lesson plans and teach science in English, Cambridge or curriculum of Ministry of Education? And the second question, how many periods you teach biology or science in English in at the school? Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Miss Quỳnh. I'm looking forward to hearing your voice when I do this presentation. Yes, I will answer your question. There is a difficulty for teachers of biology, not teachers of math or chemistry or physics, that we don't have bilingual textbook for the teachers, like Miss Quyên had said before, so that I have to design all my lessons by myself. Yes, and I often find on the internet, or I use the textbook maybe from other countries like Australia or America. Yes, sometimes I teach in Cambridge, but sometimes I design the lessons with the material I found. And at my school, we have one period per week for teaching biology in English. And so we have about 38 weeks. So I will teach 30 periods of biology in English for students. That is my answer. Thank you for your question.
Okay, thank you for your answer.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Dung. It's very clear.
Yes, I just want to say you give us a very interesting activities. I myself have used some of the activities in teaching general English, and now I know how to adapt these activities in teaching clear teachings of biology. Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Lan.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Lan. Yeah, now we are waiting for questions from the other participants as well as the presenters. So, Ms. Dung, I have a wonder about the time for these activities, because as far as I know, maybe we need much time, because the students need to work in groups. Sometimes they need to discuss, etc. So how can we manage the time for these activities?
Thank you for your interesting question. That's a problem that we have to mention so much. And when I teach student a lesson, I will not do all the activities because we have to manage time, we have only 45 minutes per one period. So with each lesson, I will choose which activity is the most suitable. And then I will let students to do 1 or 2 activities per one lesson, not all of them. And with other knowledge, I will use maybe the traditional way. Yes, and that's the way I mix the activities and the traditional way of teaching, and then we can gain our goal. But the time is not. We can determine the suitable time. Yes, that is not break out.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Dung. So I can see in the chat box from Miss Thing written that can you share the link of your PowerPoint at the end of the presentation?
Sure.
Yes.
Never mind.
Yeah, so Miss Shirley Cho, she has a question. Yeah, Miss Cho.
Miss Thi Nguyen, so can you give me your email or contact me via my email? I will text my email on the chat box. My email is
Okay, can I have a question for Miss Jung?
Yes, Miss
Yeah.
Cho.
Okay, I'm so sorry because I just attend this session quite late, but I see the topic is quite interesting. So I want to ask Miss Jung one question is related to your own experiences. Because I saw like learning activity for CLIL teaching of biology, it means that we have 2 types of activity in this class. Like one is we focus on the content of the lesson, and the second one is we focus on the English using, like English is a medium. So between the content and the language using, in your opinion, which one is the more important then? And in the case of Vietnamese situation, so when you teach to your student like biology subject, so at that time you will use translanguaging to transfer the content to your student, or you must pay attention on the English competence among the students. So this is my question.
Okay. Miss Cho, thank you for your very interesting question. Yes, you know that we have Khalil teaching, so we have to focus on not only content but also the language. And I think which one we will focus on is depend on some things. The first one is maybe the level of using English of students. If they are good at English, so the language that time is not a very big problem. And we can gain 2 aims at that time, both of content and language. But when the proficiency level of using English of student is not very good, so that maybe at that time, if we only focus on language, because they cannot understand all, so maybe the content will not gain. And yes, and with Khalil teaching, we can use not only one language, we can use both of other language and our mother tongue too. So I think that when the level student is not good, so we have to focus on a bit more on content, and then try to use as much as possible of foreign language for students. And then at the end of the lesson, the revision activity, you have to use only foreign language for them to revise. So we can gain both of content and language. That is my answer.
Sorry, can I ask you, like the level you teach your student is high school student or the university student?
I teach high school student and I am working at Vĩnh Phúc High School for the gifted students.
Oh, I see. Oh, yes, very nice to hear the information because like I teach in the higher education, like university student. So I'm just doing the research in EMI, like using English as a medium to teach some majors of student like tourism and agriculture. But I'm very curious about like your situation is in the high school student. And yesterday I just joined in one workshop like focus on this topic, COIL in teaching class. And they talk about the L1 and L2 because for their class just two language only, like Indonesian language and English language only. Is quite similar to our situation, like Vietnamese and English, but like for some other situation like Chinese and Japanese and like Italian, like the environment is like very international. So at that time, change language is quite not work in this situation. Okay, thank you very much for your sharing. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Miss Joe and Miss Trần Thị Dung. Yeah, we still have some more minutes for the Q&A sections for Miss Dung. So if the audience, if there are any questions, you can still raise your voice.
Yes, I have one question.
Yes, Miss Queen.
I know in the school there are two students get silver medal in the international context in biology. You know, and so how do you do? And your biology teacher in the school help her to get this prize? Yeah, can you share some experience? Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Queen. And as you know that Vĩnh Phúc High School for the Gifted is, I think, our biology team, national team, get high prizes. Yes, for every national contest. And this school year, we have a silver medal for the international biology contest. And if I can share some experience, I will say that when we have the national team, all biology teachers in our school have to work together, and each teacher will be responsible for one field of biology, because no one is good at all the parts of biology. There are 7 separated parts of biology, and we have to study deeply for them. So at that time, all biology teachers of my school will work together. And a very important thing that students want to get high prize, so they have to practice with not only exams in Vietnamese, they have to have an ability to read the biology exams in English, and then they have to referee other exams from other countries like the UK, the US, or Australian, Canada, essential. So maybe that is one of the reasons that our school had high prize for the national contest and international contest. Ms. Queen, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the answer. So this is really what you can speak English fluently. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you
In
very
fact,
much.
Yes, in fact, I get a Bachelor of English degree.
Oh.
Yes, in Hanoi National University of Foreign Language.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss Do. I'm very impressed with your very wonderful presentation, as well as the very clear answers to all of the participants' questions. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we have one more question for Miss Châu. Yeah, so Miss Châu, you can raise your voice. We still have the time for one more questions.
Okay, thank you very much. I asked a lot because I'm really interested in your. Okay, so when you teach biology by English, what challenges in terms of prepare the lesson you have for at the very beginning stage and until now? Like some challenges and how do you do how to deal with the situation, because teaching another subject by English, I think that teacher must be very good at not just only like the English competence and pedagogical practice like skill, and like about the content, about the major understanding too. So what challenges very beginning and how do you do to deal with the situation?
Yes, thank you for your question, Miss Jo. I think the biggest challenge with me when I started to teach biology in English, that is the level English of student and their interest in these lessons. From me, that is not a very big problem with using English, because I was very interested in learning and using English when I was a student at secondary school. Yes, but the big challenge comes from the student, because the English level of them is not good, and then they have to teach and they have to study a lot of lessons at the same time. So they don't have much time for the biology in English, and they cannot see the goal, yes, of this activity, because you know, they are only students, they are very young, and they only focus on the tests, other tests, maybe the math, the physics, the chemistry, to have high score, and then how to get the highest mark for the entrance exam for the university. Yes, but I have a lucky thing is that I teach at the high school for the gifted, and then we have a biology class. So, one of the very important thing for this class, that student they will try their best to have the high prize for the national contest, and that is a condition for them to pass the entrance exam to the Hanoi University of Medical University. Yes, and then they will try to study biology in English, and so that is one thing that make me more enthusiastic. Yes, and I will try to design the lesson the most simple for them and the most interesting for them. Yes, and how to make them more engaged to my lesson, and I will share with them what can they have, what will they have if they are good not only at English but also it's biology in English. And I will maybe give them high mark for this subject, and then show them the opportunity to study abroad, opportunity to have scholarship. Yes, essential. And then you know that I still maintain my work until now from the 2016-2017 school year from now. Yes, and I will do that in the future too.
Yeah. So in your school, the students just learn the biology by English. How about some other subjects? They study English too?
It depends on the plan of people, Department of Education and Training. And yes, and we have taught not only biology in English, but also other natural science subjects too. They are math, physics, chemistry, and biology.
I see.
Yes, there are 4 subjects.
Yeah.
Very nice to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Dung. You did a very great job in motivating your students. Yes. So I think we do not have more time for this. So on behalf of the organizing committee, I'd like to present the certificate of acknowledgement to Ms. Trần Thị Dung in the recognition of your very great contribution as a great presenter at the conference today. So wish you all the best in your daily life as well as your teaching career, Ms. Dung.
Okay, thank you so much for Vietnam Fulbright Teacher Exchanges and Relo Vietnam. And thank you so much, Miss Mai and Miss Lan, who have encouraged me so much. And thank you all the participants today. And I wish you good health, happiness, and success in the future too.
Yeah, thank you. So audience, if you have any further questions, you can continue chat in the chat box and or contact Miss Dung via her email or telephone number. Thank you. So the audience, let's welcome to the last but not least presentation from Miss Hoàng Thị Thanh Tâm. So let me have some minutes talking about Miss Hoàng Thị Thanh Tâm. She is an English teacher in Nguyễn Khuyến High School in Ho Chi Minh City, and she was selected for the 2019 and 2020 Fulbright. She is not only an English teacher, but also the one who is very interested in the environmental issues. That's why she established a club named Acting for the Future, A4F, gathering students who are concerned with the environment in 2019. And this club has collaborated with several conservation and environmental organizations such as Save Vietnam's Wildlife, Gaia Climate Action, to the projects and her workshops on the related topics. And today in her presentation, she also talks about one of the things that she is very interested in, that is bringing conservation into the classroom in high school context in Vietnam. So Ms. Tâm, the floor now is yours.
Thanks, Miss Mai, for your introduction. It's my honor to be here today to share with you my experiences. So as you know, I'm an English teacher, but I have taken interest in conservation and other environmental issues recently, and I even established a club for my students in my school who share the same interest with me. Now, why do I want to bring conservation into the classroom? First of all, I think we can all agree that environmental problems are becoming increasingly serious and now a global issue. Despite that, education on biodiversity, the nature, and other environmental problems is quite limited, especially in urban schools. Students mainly get knowledge from their textbook and their teachers, but the lessons on textbook do not go into details, and teachers like me, honestly speaking, do not have professional expertise on these issues. So if I cannot bring my students to national parks to talk with the experts, then I will bring the experts to the classroom. So in 2019, when the pandemic broke out and we were in lockdown, I made contact with Save Vietnam's Wildlife. It's a national nonprofit organization whose headquarters is based in Cúc Phương National Park in Ninh Bình. And it was on the ground to save animals, specifically carnivores like binturongs, pangolins, civets, and otters from illegal trade. So when I first raised the ideas of having, our virtual meetings with them, SVW's educational officer were amused because they had never done anything like that before. They did several on-site trips with students in Ninh Bình, Hà Nội, and nearby provinces. But we are living in Ho Chi Minh City, more than 1,000 kilometers away. And after some discussion, we reached an agreement on the topics of the workshop, the length of time for each section, what to do and what to prepare. In 2019, SVW delivered the presentation. My students just listened and then asked questions. Then we found that way ineffective because students got bored quickly. They just listened. So we changed. In this year workshop, SVW provided guiding questions, and my students actively got involved in learning process. They searched for the information, made presentations, created games and quizzes, prepared questions for discussion, and prepare questions to ask SVW's officers. Now, while a group of A4F members were preparing for the presentation, another group ran advertisements on our page. So we created this page in 2019 to post news about our workshops, projects, and products. And we find it a very effective way to get, attention of people from different places. Then on the meeting days, our SVW officers will listen to my students' presentation. Then they gave feedback and answered the questions from the participants. So here are photos of our latest workshop, which took place just last week. And it was a huge success because there were more than 50 people joining our meeting. There were students from Hà Nội, Quảng Bình, and especially more than 30 students from Malaysia. Because it was the last section in the series, so SVW gave us a special gift. An officer, here you can see the picture in the middle. An officer made a virtual trip. She showed us around their rescuing center in Cúc Phương National Park. And the participants got extremely excited when they saw the animals, or educational ambassadors, as the way SVW calls them. Binturongs, pangolins, and otters. And she also showed us how the keepers take care of them, how they prepare their food. Now, besides exchanging information, we also sang songs, played games, and it's really fun. But I don't want the workshops end like that. I always encourage my students to do something beyond the workshop. So here are what we did. Here what we did 2 years ago. After the workshop with SVW, we had a chance to hold a coffee talk with SVW's veterinarian, listening to her stories and experiences in taking care of wild animals. Then we held offline workshops in our school and 2 secondary schools. We also made and sold handmade products like scrunchies, or bookmarks. And finally, we earned 2 million Vietnam dong. We donated the money to SVW to raise a female pangolin individual. And good news is, last year, she was released back to the nature. Now, here are some images of the workshop in the secondary school. Oh, sorry.
Hello. We are going to Hammerhole Secondary School. Let's go. Yeah.
Five. One.
Okay, now Julie, what do you think about this book?
What made me feel very interesting, and I'm very glad to join this.
Was it interesting?
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Will you attend a workshop like this again in the future?
Yes, I'm glad to, but if I can have time, if I have time.
Okay, and which part of the workshop do you like best?
When we like play game and answer question and talk about what we have to do and what we cannot.
What did you learn from the workshop?
We have to try to protect the wildlife, wild animals, try to protect the environment, and we should not keep the big take the scales, anything.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. So after the workshop with SVW 2 years ago, I continue to draw my students' attention to other environmental issues. Last year, we participated in the climate action project, and the project is open-ended, encourages cross-country collaboration, and is focused on solutions. So each week, students will create a video of their findings to be published in the website. This way, students are able to learn from their peers globally, and will discover climate change that climate change may appear very differently in other parts of the world. So here are some activities that we did. We create 4R challenges to encourage students in our school to switch from single-use plastic to alternative materials. And here we reuse plastic bags and plastic bottles to make plus of trees. Then in week 3, we connected with a class from Australia. While we talked about devastating floods in central provinces of Vietnam, they told us about bushfires in Australia. And in week 4, we connected with a project mentor from Singapore, listening to her advice. I also made contact with Gaia Nature Conservation. So they came to our school and help us to organize a mini quiz show and told students about the importance of planting trees. In return, we raised money to donate trees. So here, by selling the recycled products, we earned money and then donated 10 trees to Xuân Liên Nature Reserve. And in the quiz show, we also raised more than 7 million Vietnam đồng for tree plantation and education in Ho Chi Minh City School. Yeah. So throughout the workshop, students widen their knowledge about conservation. And for other participants, the majority of them said that the workshops help them to know more about wildlife conservation and also inspire them to live greener and do things to protect the nature. So I've just introduced to you 2 out of many activities and projects that we have done so far since the club's establishment. Now, move on to the next part. As I mentioned before, we have run advertisements and posted news on our Facebook. And here are some supportive online tools that my students and I usually use to create and edit posters and clips. These tools are user-friendly, even with a person with limited computer skills like me. And you can find hundreds of videos instructing you how to use the tools on YouTube. Another set of online tools that I would like to talk about is games. Online meetings are convenient, but can be boring at the same time due to the lack of in-person interaction. So in order to increase our interaction among participants, here are some tools that I use. The first one, Jigsaw Explorer. This tool helps you create, picture puzzle, and it's very easy to use. You just enter the image address, enter the number of pieces that you want to have, and create the link. You send the link to your students. Multiple players can join to solve the puzzle at the same time. So I usually use the tool at the beginning of the lesson to draw the participant attention to the topic of the section. And if I want to brainstorm ideas or get the participants into discussion, I will use Answer Garden. Now, Answer Garden. So the participants just type the answer in the box, click submit, and the answers will appear like this as a word cloud format. And here, my favorite, Class Tools is a collection of many free educational games, quizzes, activities, diagrams you can create in a very short time. There are instructions and there are examples. So click on the games and just within few minutes, you can create a link and then send it to your students. Yeah, sorry, because the time limit, I cannot demonstrate any of the tools. But if you have any questions about the tools, if you want to know how to use it, you can ask me later, or you can send me an email. Right. So now, finally, let me conclude my presentation by quickly talk about the benefits and the difficulty. First, benefits to students. Number one, budget friendly. Obviously, taking an online virtual workshop is much more cost effective than taking one in person. There's no worry about travel fees or accommodation fees. And second, convenience. People can participate in a professional workshop without having to leave their home. They can take it on their mobile device or computer in the comfort of their room, saving their time and effort. Third, accessibility. Virtual workshops give students access to professionals, experts who may be living hundreds or even thousands of kilometers away. Also, it gives students opportunities to widen their circle of friends. They can make friends with many students from different countries. And indeed, many of my students find friends who share the same hobbies and interests with them. And they still keep in touch with them, even when the workshop ends. Skills workshop. Students can enhance their computer skills, problem-solving skills, presenting skills, and most importantly, English communication skills, because they had to do almost everything in English. They had to search information in English, make presentations in English, ask and answer questions in English. So I give students a reason to use English in class, and they are forced to use English because they're talking with not only Vietnamese students, but also foreign students. First-time experiences. There are so many interesting firsts. So for some students, it was the first time they became an MC, the first time they ran a fundraising event, the first time they made, handmade products, recycled products. And the last one, certificates. Before talking about this, I want to talk about the difficulty. Despite my effort, honestly, to environmental issues and encourage them to join A4. So for those who join our virtual workshop, they will receive a certificate of participation. And for students who join the projects and our club, they will receive a certificate of achievements in recognition of their efforts and time. And this certificate gives them an advantage when they apply to universities. Right, here are the contacts, my email, our club's Facebook. So you are welcome to visit our page and to see how what we have done so far since the club's establishment. And there are 3 links to the 3 organizations that I mentioned. Climate Action Project takes place every year in late October. And the registration process is very simple. You just click on their website, sign up for your class, and then they will send you lesson plans, curricula, and they will help you connect with other teachers from different countries. If you want to connect with SVW, you can visit their Facebook or their website and drop them a message, or you can ask me, you can talk to me. I will help them connect with them. And the last one, for this organization, they also have website and Facebook. Just drop them a message, or just like me, I just wrote them an email. So I find there's one thing in common between conversationists and environmentalists. They are friendly, very friendly and willing to share. So do not hesitate to, take part in any of the projects, either climate action projects or a project that you design with SVW right in this school year. Yeah. So that's the end of my presentation. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Tâm, for your very inspiring presentation. And I can see a lot of very wonderful comments, and there are also some questions for you. So let me read some of comments from the audience and also the questions. So from Roses 26, it is said that this is what teachers should do as part of helping our planet and build the future for the students. So thanks, Tâm, what you have said is so inspiration. And I totally agree with Rosie's as well as Mitchell, also very agree, I totally agree with her for very exact comments. And from An Hiên, wow, I'm so impressed with how you integrate English classes with such practical and fun hands-on experience. You can bring English alive and meaningful to your students. Wish the best with your projects. Hats off to you for your tremendous effort and devotion. And yes, and there is a questions from Phương Ngô. So please tell the name of the last tune on the previous slide. So I wish to hear that the tunes like beatable canvas
flip.
and yeah. So can you show them again some of the tunes?
Well, actually, I don't use it, but my students use it to create animated film, like cartoon. So it's very useful for students who can draw, flip, flip. But I cannot draw, so I don't use it. But my student flip.
So can you come back to that slide? Miss Rose 26 also says that maybe Tâm will share this slide for us so we can have all the names of the tunes. Yeah.
No, I will write down the name of the app here. Flip clip. Yeah. So my students use it to create animated film.
Yeah. So can you come back to the slide with the tunes, and if you can you send the audience your PowerPoint slides? Yeah, they are.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, waiting for that, looking forward to the slide.
Involve more teachers in my project? Absolutely.
Yes.
well, actually, I have just organized 4-week online workshop with SPW, and because I still keep in touch with a Malaysian teacher, so I sent her an invitation, and she helped me invite more than 30 or even 50 students from Malaysia. And I also sent invitation in Skype group with more than 500 Vietnamese teacher, but no one replied. So yeah, just send me an email or drop me a message on my Facebook or the club Facebook. Next time, well, actually not next time, next week we have a workshop about origami, and then the week after that we have a workshop about Malaysian culture. So I think it's a good chance, although it's not about conservation, but it's a good chance to exchange our culture. And then from this occasion, you have contact with teachers from different countries, and if they still have good relationship with them, then you can invite them to your projects in the future. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Tâm. So Cô Xuân says that you are an inspiration teacher for the young students, and that's great. Yeah. And from Ms. Nguyễn Văn Đinh, can you work with teachers of other subjects on your projects?
Of course.
Yes.
Because besides conservation, I also want to exchange culture. Like students in Ho Chi Minh City always also want to know about students from other provinces. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So many of the audience here want to have your email again. Yeah.
I already typed it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. So we still have time for the Q&A sections as well as the comments from the audience. So if you have any other questions, you can unmute yourself and raise your questions as well. Yeah, so Miss Phan Thị Thu Trang, I think, says that I want to join. Where can I get the link to join your interesting events? Yeah, the link.
Yeah, just visit our Facebook. Yeah, just visit our page. So we have, as I say, we run advertisement about our workshops every week on our Facebook. And we really want to invite more students, more teachers to join our workshops. It's a pity that the workshops about conservation has been over, but we promise that we continue to collaborate with SBW to do projects about conservation every year. Yeah. And
so can you copy the link to the chat box? Because maybe sometimes when they try to take the pictures, some of the address is here, but sometimes this may have some arrows. Yeah, so can you copy the links of the Facebook into the chat box?
Well, I think Climate Action Project is a good project for Miss Dung and Miss Quyên. You can join this project because students, you can have a chance to meet teachers and students from other countries, and because your subject is related to climate change, right?
Yes, thanks a lot, Miss Tan. Yeah, audience. Miss Tam has posted her email address and the link of the Facebook group that you can join the very wonderful activities, so that we can together we can preserve our environment. Yes.
Yeah, if you have any difficulty in joining these projects or contacting these organizations, feel free to ask me. I will willing to help.
Yeah, sure. We will join your activities. It's very wonderful. Yes, the audience, do you have any more questions for Miss Tam?
Yeah, thank you for your compliment. I really hope that more teachers, more Vietnamese teachers can join these projects. And another tool, another page that you can try to get connected with other teachers. Do you know Mystery Sky? Mystery Sky.
Yeah, can you type it? Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So type it on Facebook, and there's a it's a group for teachers from many different countries. So if you want to connect with any class, just post on this group and tell them the time and the topic that you want to exchange. Yeah.
Yeah.
And our Mystery Sky have a what is it? A program. Yeah. They call it a program, an event, an event. So they usually takes place in, as I remember, in June or in November. In November, in 2 days of November. So teachers from all over the world will try to connect with as many classes as possible. So you can try this event to get connected, and then keep in touch with other teachers. Thank you everyone for staying with me until now. You must be very hungry now.
Yeah, may I have some more words? As far as I know, there is a program named Climate Connection from we say British culture, and they have a lot of activities as well as the course that the people can join. Yeah, so okay, yeah, so you can search for it, and then we have a lot of activities there from the British culture.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can we try this?
All right, thank you. So from British culture, right? BC.
British Council, BC.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. So are there any questions from the audience? Okay, so one participant from Đắk Nông says that she has some misunderstand the time zone, so she's late, but don't worry. We will have the recording for the Zooms, and then we can post it. So please follow it, and then we are going to send you the participants.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Yeah. So it is says that from many of the teachers that you are very yes, you are very talented and dedicated teachers. Yeah. So Miss Tâm, on behalf of the organizing meeting, I must say that although it is the very last presentation, but it is very inspiring and very interesting topic. And we would like to present you the certificate of acknowledgement for your very interesting and inspiring presentation today. So wish you all the best for your teaching career as well as your life. Yeah, thank you very much for your presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Miss Lan, for supporting me, and thanks all the audience for staying with me until now. I really hope that our presentations today will give you some ideas about making your lessons more interactive, more interesting, and I really hope that more Vietnamese teachers can connect with other teachers, can share, connect, and then share our culture and our projects with other classes from all over the world.
Yes, thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, it is the end of our session today. So on behalf of RELO, PTA, and all the audience here, I'd like to say thank you to all of very wonderful 4 presenters today. You did very great job and you have inspired us a lot. So I also would like to thank all the audience, the participants who are very active, who has very active participation in this workshop. And now I post into the chat box the link for the surveys, and the audience, please take the surveys, and then you will get the certificate on your attendance of the conference today. And again, I will type into the chat box the link, and please load it down. And remember that the link is valid until 2 p.m. today. Thank you very much. So could you all please turn on your camera so that we can have some photo sections. Is this okay? Thank you. Yeah. Yes, we will have the recordings for the today workshops and other workshops as well. Thank you. So the secretary, could you please help me to take the photos of all the very wonderful presenters, moderators, secretary, as well as the audience today. Yeah, thank you.
Let's smile.
Yeah, let's smile.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you a lot. Yeah, thanks a lot.
So you send the presenter certificate to our emails, right?
Yeah,
or
of
do we
course.
have to do
Yeah.
the survey?
Of course. Yes.
Thank you, Miss Mai.
All right.
Thank you, Miss Lan, for your support.
Thank you. Thank you. Very wonderful presentations.
So thank
Very
you very
wonderful
much. Yeah.
participation.
Yes.
Thank you very
everyone.
much. And
Yeah.
see you again
Thank
in
you.
our coming events.
Yeah. See you again and goodbye and enjoy your lunch. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Good lunch.
Thank you.